Good evening, everyone. So today is our second day of our bootcamp, that is you are using Python. So yesterday we have learned about the basic things of Python, such as data types, what is input, what is type conversion, and etc. And we also have written our first program, right? So we have gone through various data types such as list, int, float, string, tuple, and etc. Right? So let us start our second day. Before starting our second day, I would like to remind you about the attendance form, which will be provided in the chat box at the end of the stream. You need to fill that one in order to get the attendance, right? So it will be provided throughout the bootcamp, that is 7 days, and you must fill that one to get the certificate. All right, so let us start our second day. So our second day portion is we are giving intro to control and selection statements, right? So there are if else statements, nested if else, and we are going through loops. Loops are of two types in Python: for loop and while loop. We'll be looking at them in detail, and we're also looking at break, continue, and pass. These are control statements, right? So let us start. So first, let us start with selection or decision control statements, right? So basically, what is a selection statement? The selection statement allows a program to test several conditions and execute instructions based on which condition is true, right? So some decision control statements are simple if else, nested if. There are many more which we will be discussing in detail in the session, right? And the repetitive statement or loops is used to repeat a group of statements if the given condition is satisfied, right? So there are two types. There are for loop and while loop. So let's go forward. That is, let's go with simple if first. Simple if has only one condition. If the condition is satisfied, then the statements under the if block are executed, or else nothing will happen, right? So let us go to VS Code and let me give you an example of simple if. So let us open VS Code. Let us open a new file and let us save it. Go to desktop and second day.py, right? Do not forget to put .py at the last. If not, Python file will not open, right? So after that, press save. Okay. Simple if you want to write anything that should not be executed, only for your reference, just put a hash at the starting, right? So it will be not executed. Just for our reading purpose, we can write under hash, right? So we are learning simple if. So let me take one variable. I'll take x equal to 2, and now I will write simple if, right? That means only one condition should be there. So if x is greater than 1, the syntax is very important. If condition, and there should be a colon at end, right? And once we go to the next line, we have to follow proper indentation. Indentation is nothing but a space. In Python we must follow indentation. To get the proper indentation, once you go down the line, you will be there at here, right? So just press tab button on your keyboard. Once you press it, you will get the proper indentation, right? You have to follow indentation for decision control statements, that is if, and for in loops also you have to follow them, right? Just press tab button wherever the indentation is necessary, right? If x is greater than 1, let us give a print statement, print, and in the apostrophes we have to write x is greater than 1. Just any statement, you can write anything, right? Now let us control plus s. We are saving the program and let's run this one. It is being executed, and let us wait until it executes. Yes, it has executed, and it has printed x is greater than 1. Now let us try the false case. Now if x is greater than 5, see here, x is 2, and we are writing the condition as x is greater than 5. Is 2 is greater than 5? No, it's not. Now let us see what it will print. It has printed nothing. Nothing is printed in the output window, right? I hope you got it. What is if? If the condition is satisfied, then the statement under the if block are executed. If not, nothing will happen. This is simple if, right? So let's go back to PPT and look at the example which I have given here. X equal to 5. Okay, this is same. We have taken x equal to 5, x mod 2 not equal to 0. I hope you know, I hope you guys know the condition to be an even number. If the number is divided by 2 and the remainder is 0, then it is even number. And if the number is divided by 2 and it is not equal to 0, if the remainder is not equal to 0, then it is an odd number, right? Mod gives the remainder. Yesterday I have discussed this thing, right? So 5 mod 2. What is 5 mod 2? The remainder will be 1. It is not equal to 0, right? So it will print x is odd number. Yes, I hope you got this one. So this is simple if, and next let us go to if else, right? If else is nothing but it will have two conditions. In simple if we are having only one condition. In if else we will be having two conditions. If the statement under if block is satisfied, then these statements are executed, right? If the condition is not satisfied, else means nothing but if the given upper condition is not satisfied, then these statements are executed, right? So let us look with an example. Let me clear this one. What we are looking at now, if else statement, right? So now let us take an example, x equal to 50. Now if x is greater than 25 colon, syntax is very important, print, do not forget to put colon here and do not forget to have this indent space. Indent space is nothing but, I will clear this one, I will show you once again. Go to the start and just press tab button on your keyboard. Just press tab, it will give the proper indentation. If not, the error will occur. Do not forget the indentation. If x is greater than 25, print x is greater than 25. And now we can write the false case, else colon and next print x is less than 25. I hope you guys got it now, right? If x is greater than 25, these statements will be executed. What is that statement? X is greater than 25. If x is not greater than 25, then statements under else block will be executed. Which will be executed? X is less than 25. Now Control plus S, we have saved the program and let's run it. You can see the output here, x is greater than 25. Why it is being printed? Because x is 50. X is 50 and we are checking the condition. If x is greater than 25, what is x here? 50. 50 is greater than 25. It is true, right? So the statements under the if block are executed here. That is x is greater than 25. Now let me change the number. Let me take a number which is less than 25. Let us take a number which is 15. Now Control plus S, the file is saved. Now run the program. There you go. X is less than 25. Why it is being printed? X is 15. If 15 is greater than 25, is 15 greater than 25? No, it is less than 29. So this block is terminated. That means that this condition is not satisfied. If this condition is not satisfied, which will be executed? The statements under the else block will be executed, right? So this statement is executed, right? So we can write multiple statements here. We can write print this is second statement. Control plus S and let's run this one. There you go. We got two lines. X is less than 25. This is second statement, right? I hope you got what is if else statement, right? We have gone through a simple if else, and let us go to the next slide now. Now it is nested if. Before going to nested if, let me explain you what is if, elif and else. Next I will explain nested if, right? The if elif else is nothing but if there are more than two conditions, then this can be executed, right? So let me copy the program here and let me explain you in VS Code. Let me clear this one. There you go. Okay, let me type it. X equal to 15, y equal to 10, z equal to 12, right? So let me write a program to find the largest of three numbers, right? Let me write if x is greater than y and x is greater than z. That means what that it means? Print x is the greatest number. Just listen, I will explain after typing the code. I will explain you the whole thing. is greater than x, print y is greatest. Next, what we can write directly at else print z is greatest. Right, so this is our program. So I have taken three numbers here, that are x, y and z. X equal to 15, y equal to 10 and z equal to 12. Firstly, what is if, elif and else? I have said you that it contains more than two conditions. So the first condition is if x is greater than y and x is greater than z, we can say that x is the greatest number among the three numbers, right? So x is greater than y and x is greater than, what is the statement under which I have written here? X is the greatest number. Elif is nothing but second condition, right? So if this one is wrong, if the given statement is wrong, then it will go encounter this one, elif. What is under elif? If y is greater than z and y is greater than x, obviously y will be the greatest number. So we are printing that y is the greatest. Else is nothing but if both these conditions are not satisfied, both these conditions are wrong, then the statements under the else block will be executed, right? So control plus s and let me run the program. See, here we got x is the greatest number. Why we got x is the greatest number? We have because x is greatest among these three, x equal to 15, y equal to 10 and z equal to 12. It will check here if x is greater than y. What is x here? 15. What is y here? 10. 15 is greater than 10. So one condition is satisfied, and that means another condition. What is x here? 15 greater than z. What is z? 12. 15 is greater than 12. So both these conditions are satisfied. So the statement under the if block are executed, right? So now let me change the number here. X equal to, let me take 8. Let me change z also, like 7. Now control plus s, run. Y is greatest. We got our answer as y is greatest because y is the greatest among these two. First it will check here, x is greater than y. What is x here? 8. 8. What is y? 10. 8 is greater than 10. Is it true? No, it is not true. It is false. So this will be terminated now. Now next it will check these condition. Y is greater than z. What is y? 10. What is z? 7. 10 is greater than 7, right? Now next it will go here. Y is greater than x. What is y? 10. What is x? 8. 10 is greater than 8. So both the conditions are satisfied. So the statements under these things are executed, right? Similarly, if both these conditions are not satisfied, the statements under else block will be executed, right? So this is if, elif and else. And now let us go to nested if. Nested if statements are an if statement inside another if statement, right? So let me give you an example of that one. X equal to 12 if x is greater than 0, let me type the program and I will explain you after this. X is our number. Right, so I have written a program here that is x equal to 12 and the first condition is if x is greater than 0. 12 is greater than 0, right? So it will enter this one. So I have taken a number x equal to 12 and the first condition which I have written is if x is greater than 0. Why I am checking if x is greater than 0? Because odd and even we can write only for positive numbers, right? So we are writing only for positive numbers. So I have taken the first condition, that is if x is greater than 0. And if this condition is satisfied, it will enter the statements under this if block. What are the statements under this if block? These statements, right? How I am saying they are under these statements? Because of indent, because of the space, right? So if x mod 2 double equal to 0, I said you in the previous video and in the starting of the course, starting of this video as well, if x mod 2, that is number mod 2 is equal to 0, then the number is even number, right? So I'm printing if this condition is satisfied, it will enter the statements under this if block. These are nothing but prints x is even number. and if this condition is failed, then a statement under this else block will be executed. Why this else block? Why not this else block? Because if and else, these are under the same indent, they are under starting at the same position. That's why print x is an odd number. Next, if x is less than 0, for example, directly it will go here. Why it will go here? Because if and else are at same position. I hope you got it, the importance of indent here, right? We are printing odd and even are only for positive numbers. Now let me save the program and let me run it. We are getting x is even number, right? So let me change it to a negative number, -4. Odd and even are only for positive numbers, right? Because this condition is not satisfied. What is x here? -4. -4 is greater than 0. Is it true? No, it's not true. It is false. So the false case, that is else, we are printing the odd and even numbers are only for positive numbers, right? So this is how nested if works. What is nested if? Basically an if statement under the if statement is known as nested if, right? So an if statement which is under the if statement, then it is known as nested if, right? So this is nested if, and let us go to the next slide. We have completed all the if else and simple if else, nested if, and if else, right? So let us do some more examples. So now let us do some more examples on this so you will get more confidence, right? So let me clear this one. So what else we can take? Okay, let me take a string right now. I will tell you new thing, what is finding the length. So let me take a string. So my string equal to, let me take any word here, power. If you want to find the length of the string, length is nothing but number of characters of the string, right? What is the length of the string? POWER, 5 characters, nothing but 5. Let me show you how to print the length. Print, okay, let me take another variable. So I'll take x equal to len, len of my string. Now let me print x. Let's see what it will do. Control plus S, and let me run the program. We are getting 5. Why we are getting 5? I have taken my string. My string is nothing but a variable, and we are giving a string. How can we identify it is a string? Because it is written under apostrophes, right? What we have written? Power. What is the length of power? Nothing but number of characters. POWER. There are 5 numbers here, 5 characters here. So the length, len function will give the length of the string. Okay, so x equal to len of my string. What it will give? 5. So I'm printing x. What we have got? 5. I hope you got it, right? Now let us try to write a program using length and if else statements, right? So let me clear this one. Let me take another string. My string equal to, let us take another word now. What we can take? Let's take one word, pillow. And let us store the length of the string in a variable called x equal to len of my string. Now can you guess the length of the my string? Now what is the my string? PILLOW. What is the number of characters? 6. So the length of the string will be 6, right? So if x is greater than 0, print the length of the string is greater than 0, else print, you can write any statement here, null. Now control plus S, and let us try to write this. The length of the string is greater than 0. I hope you got it. Why it is printing? Because x is 6, right? X is 6. Let me print that one too. Print x. Now let us save the program and let's run it. There you go. We got output here 6, and the length of the string is greater than 0. I hope you got it, right? So we have learned one new thing here, that is finding the length of the string. Okay, they're using len function, right? So now let us take another example using 4 conditions, right? So let us take a random example. Let us try to do with an string, because we have done many things using int and float. Okay, so let me take my string equal to, let me take one more word, that is rain, REIGN. Okay, and let me store the length of the word x equal to len of my string. Now let us try to do an example of if, elif, else, nothing but four conditions, right? So if x double equal to 1, print the length of string is 1. Elif x double equal to 2, print the length of string is 2. Let me copy this one. Right, so let me change this one, x equal to 3, the length of the string is 3, and let me change this to 4, and the length of the string would be 4, and let me write else part, print the length of string is greater than 4, right? Control plus S, and let me run the program. Once we run the program, we got the output as the length of the string is greater than 4. Now let me explain you how we got this one. We have taken a word here that is REIGN, right? And we are storing the length of the word in x equal to len of my string, nothing but what is it, 5, right? Number of characters are 5. So first we are checking this condition. If x equal to 1, is 5 equal to 1? No, false. So this block will be terminated. Next condition, it will go to this one. If x double equal to 2, 5 double equal to 2, no, it's not wrong, it's not correct, right? So this block will be executed. Similarly, these two blocks will be terminated, right? So all these four blocks are terminated because nothing, 5 is not matching to any of these conditions. So the statement under the else block will be executed. Else is nothing but if the upper conditions are not satisfied, then this will be printed, right? So now let me add one more. Elif x double equal to 5. Let's print length of string is 5. Control plus S. Now let's, there you go, length of the string is 5. Hope you got it. So this is the way we can write many conditions, right? So if you are having more than three four conditions, we can write this one. First we have to start with if, next we have to go for elif, elif under the until your condition is satisfied. If you do not know any condition, just write else, and you can write the statement here, right? So this is how we can write if, elif using strings. And let me show an example with list also. Let us take an example, x equal to, let me take 1 2 3 4 5. We can find the length of the list as well, similarly same as string. So let me take a variable x and len of my list. So let's print once. What it will print, let me show you. Print x, control plus S, and let me see this. We got 5. Why we got 5? Because the number of elements in the list are 5, right? So let me change it below, and word, let me take another example, 12. Now control plus S. Now we got 3. Why we got 3? Because there are 3 elements in the list, right? So let us try to write a program on my list, x equal to len of my list. And now one thing I would like to explain here is, if you want to find the length of this word, I have told you how to access the elements in the list in the previous class. I hope you guys remember that one. So let me store that in a variable z equal to, if we want to access below, that is at the 0th index, so z equal to my list of, in the square bracket we have to write 0. Why we have to write 0? Because it is at the 0th index, right? So let me take one more example, one more variable, length of string equal to len of z. What is z? Z equal to pillow, right? So let us print z and let us print length of string. So let's see what it will print. There you go. First we are printing z. What is z? Pillow, right? Accessing the element in the list. And we are writing length of printing length of string. What is length of string? The length of the z. How many characters are there in z? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So 6 is being printed. So this is how you access inside elements in the list and how to find the length of the strings, right? So let me clear this one and let me go back to the PPT. And we have done many examples on if, elif and if else. I have shown you how to use if else in normal variables, normal data types such as int, and I have shown you examples in string. I will let us see an example in list as well. You guys will get confidence. My list equal to 1 2 3 4 5. Small example. Let me finish this one and let me store z equal to my list of 3. What it will give? Third index. 1 is at 0th index, 2 is at first index, 3 is at second index, 4 is at third index. Nothing but z equal to 4 now. If z double equal to 4, print any statement here. First statement. Elif z double equal to 3. I'm taking random conditions. You can take anything, right? Just for your understanding purposes, I'm giving these examples. Else print statement, right? Control plus S and let me run the program. We got first statement as answer. Why we got first statement? Because z equal to 4, right? So if z equal to 4, this condition is satisfied, so this will is printed. So this is how you use if, elif and in various data types. So let me clear this one and let's go back to the PPT and let's go with loops now. Loops are nothing but repeating a statement, repeating statements many times, n number of times. You can use any number of times. We have to give the condition, right? So loops are used when we want to repeat a block of statements for n number of times. There are two loops in Python, that is for loop and while loop. And the one most important thing is we must follow indentation in Python. I have told you at the starting of the video and now I'm telling you again, without indentation you will get an error. I will show you that error while explaining you the loops, right? You must follow indentation. Just press tab wherever the indentation is necessary. You will get the proper indentation. So let us start with the loops. Let us start with the first loop, that is for loop. So the syntax of for loop is, here it is the syntax. For I is nothing but a variable. We can write anything here. So I have taken a random alphabet, that is I. For I in range, from where we have to start and from where we have to end, and step. Step is nothing but the difference between iterations, right? So this is the first example. For I in range 1 comma 11, print I. Let me show you how what it will print. For I in range 1 comma 11 and colon at the end. Do not forget to put colon at the end. I have given you proper syntaxes in the PPT. Do not just go through them, right? Without the proper syntax you will get errors. Let me show you what will happen if you miss the colon. If you miss the colon, and let me write here print I. Control plus S and let me run this one. See here, you got an error. Output is not displayed. Syntax error, invalid syntax. Now let me put the colon here and show you. Now let me print this one. There you go, numbers are printed. I will explain you this one. Let me write a small sequence 1 comma 4 and let me print this one. Okay, there you go. We got output as 1 2 3. How we got 1 2 3? Because we are taking a for loop here. I is a variable here, and in I is in the range. What is the range? 1 comma 4 means this right limit is subtracted by 1. Every time you have to remember this one. The right limit is subtracted by 1. So what is 4 minus 1? 3. So 1 2 3. So the loop will be executed 3 times, right? So what are the statements under the loop? Print I. So first, what is I here? 1. So 1 is printed. And then in the next loop I will become 2, right? Because it is being incremented. What is the syntax here? Step. By default step is 1. I will put the step and show you. 1 comma 1. You will get the same output, say 1 2 3, right? So 1 comma 4 comma 1, right? What is end here? End is 4. I have told you to subtract 1. That is 1 comma 4, the 4 minus 1 comma 1. So it will run 3 times. So first 1 is printed, and what is the step here? 1. So it will be incremented by 1. So what is 1 plus 1? 2. So next it will print 2, and next it will be incremented by 1. What is 2 plus 1? 3. 1 2 3. So 3 times the loop is executed, right? So this is how the for loop works. And let me show you with another example. 1 comma 5 comma, and let me change the step to 2. Let's see what happens now. Only 1 and 3 are printed. Why only 1 and 3 are printed? See here, we are starting with 1, and here 5 minus 1, n minus 1. What is n minus 1? 4, right? So first I is 1. For I equal to 1, we are printing 1, right? And next here we have written 2 in the step side. What is step here? 2. So 1 plus 2. What is 1 plus 2? 3. 3 is printed. And next for 3, another 2 is added. What is 3 plus 2? 5. But what is our range? 5 minus 1, 4, right? Got it? So it will be not executed. So this is for loop. And let me show you what will happen if you do not follow the proper indentation. I have told you, whenever you write if else or for loops, just press tab here, then only you will get the proper answer. It is being executed. Let me show you. 1 and 3 are printed. Now let me show you what will happen if you do not follow indentation. That means that you are not giving proper spaces. Now let me print this one. There you go. We got an error here. Indentation error, expected an indent block. So there is nothing to worry. Just go here and just press tab on your keyboard, tab, and Control plus S and run the program, and we got the output here. Okay. So this is how you follow the indentation in the for loops, right? Not only we can write one for loop, one statement under the for loop. Let me write print statements, and let me remove the step. Now can you guess how many times it will run? It will run for 4 times. Why it will run for 4 times? Because it is starting from 1, ending at 5 minus 1. What is 5 minus 1? 4. And it is having step 1. That means 1 plus 1. First it will run for 1. Next 1 plus 1. What is 1 plus 1? 2. What is 2 plus 1? 3. What is 3 plus 1? 4. So it has reached the maximum limit. Maximum limit is 5 minus 1, that is 4. So it will run for 4 times. Control plus S, and let me run this one. See, 4 times it is being executed, right? So this is how the loops work. The statements under the loops will be executed n number of times. Okay, let me write one more statement here. Print second statement. Control plus S, and let me run this one. There you go. We got a huge output here. For the first iteration, for I equal to 1, we are printing these both statements, statement and second statement, right? For next what is the step here? 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. For I equal to 2, we are printing these statements. And now 2 plus 1 is 3. For I equal to 3, we are printing these statements, right? For I equal to 4, we are printing these two statements. And for I equal to 5, we won't print for I equal to 5 because the end is 5 minus 1 up to 4. Only up to 4 we are printing, right? So this is how the for loop works. And if you want to change the step of the for loop, that is nothing but how much should be added to the I. So we can change here. We can write either 2, either 3, or whatever we can write, right? So this is how for loop works. I hope you guys got it. Now let us go to the while loop. So this is second loop. Both loops are similar. I mean, the functionality is same. The loops are used to execute block of statements n number of times, right? So the syntax of while loop is while, and in the we have to give a space, and we can write the condition and we can write the statements under it, right? I have given a small example here. I equal to 0, while I is less than 5, I am printing I and I am incrementing I. So let me write the same program in VS Code and let me show you how it will be executed. I equal to 0, while I is less than 5, we are printing I and we are incrementing I. Let me show you what it will print. It has printed 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So let me show you how the output came. First we have taken I equal to 0, right? And we are taking the condition while I is less than 5. So what is I initially? 0. 0 is less than 5, right? If the condition is satisfied, the statements under the while loop are executed. What are the statements under while loop? These two conditions, these two statements, right? We are printing I. What is I initially? 0. So here 0 came, right? And after printing 0, we are incrementing I. Increment is nothing but adding 1, right? What is 0 plus 1? 1, right? So now I equal to 1. Now we'll check the condition again. 1 is less than 5. It is correct. So we are printing I. What is I here? 1. So 0 is printed, 1 is printed. These both are printed. And next we are adding another number, another 1 to 2. What is 2 plus 1? 3. So similarly all this will be executed until when they will be executed? Until I is less than 5. So up to 4 they will be executed. Let me change the condition here. I equal to 2. Can you guess what will be the output? Initially I equal to 0. The output would be 0 comma 1. Got it? 0 and 1. Why it is 0 1? Initially I equal to 0. 0 is less than 2. So I am printing 0 and incrementing 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. And next it will check condition. 1 is less than 2. Yes, it is true. So it will print 1 is less than 2. So 1 will be printed and increment 1. 1 plus 1, 2. Now I is 2. 2 is less than 2. Is it correct? No, it is not correct. So these statements will not be executed. Got it? So this is how while loop works. So they're pretty simple, right? For loop and while loop. While loop, the functionality is same, right? Now let me show you the decrement. I have shown you the increment. X equal to 5 while x is greater than 0. Print x I equal to I minus 1. Sorry, I have taken x and I'm using I. It's not correct. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we got in the reverse order. Why we got in the reverse order? X equal to 5 I have taken initially and x is greater than 0. Is the condition correct? Yes, it is correct because 5 is greater than 0. If 5 is greater than 0, we are printing x. What is x? 5. 5 is printed and the next step we are decrementing. Decrement is nothing but decreasing a number. What is 5 minus 1? 4. So next it will go here. Is 4 greater than 0? Yes. So it will print 4 here. And next it will decrement again. What is 4 minus 1? 3. Right? So 3 is printed and it will be get decremented. It will be 2 now. Next it will be 1 and it will be 0 and 0 is greater than 0. It is correct? No, it is not correct. So it will stop executing. So this is how you use for loop and while loop. Right? So we have seen the control statements. We have seen all these things. If else, nested if else, and we have seen two loops, that is for loop and while loop. Now let us go into the final part of our day, that is break, continue and pass. So let's go into our next topic, that is break, continue and pass. So let us see one by one what is break, what is continue and what is pass, right? So let us start with break and let's read the definition first. What is the definition? While executing the code, if the interpreter encounters break, the control comes directly out of the loop. Just remember one thing, break and continue are always under the loop. If they are not under the loop, you will get an error, right? So let me show you an example how the break will work. So let's take x equal to 5, sorry, x equal to 0 for I in range. Okay, for I in range 1 comma 10, print I, and let us add in one if condition. If I double equal to 3, Let us add break. Let me show you how it will work now. There you go. Let me change this one. 10 is little big. Let us write 5 and control process, and let's run the code. We got the output as 1, 2 and 3. Why we are getting 1, 2 and 3? Because what is 5 minus 1? 4. The loop should run for 4 times, right? Why we are getting only 1, 2, 3? Why we are not getting 4? Because we have added a condition here. If I double equal to 3, that means if I is equal to 3, we are using break. What is break? Break is nothing but exiting the loop. There can be, the condition can be anything here. If the break word is encounter, it will come directly out of the loop. Okay, I hope you got this one. Now let me explain you the step by step how it is executed. Now we are starting from 1, right? So first, what is I? 1. So first we are printing 1 here, right? 1 is printed. Next it is checking this one. If I double equal to 3, it is equal to 3. No, it is not equal to 3. So this will be terminated. Now let us go for I equal to 2, right? It is incremented by 1, right? So what I equal to 2, we are printing I equal to 2 here. 2 is printed, right? So next it will check here. If I double equal to 3, is 2 double equal to 3? No, it is not equal to 3. So this won't be executed. Next, 2 plus 1. What is 2 plus 1? 3. So 3 is printed here, right? So 3 is printed. After 3 is printed, it is checking for one more thing. If I double equal to 3, what is I now? 3. Is 3 double equal to 3? Yes, it is equal to 3. So we are using break here. Break. So break is nothing but coming out of the loop. So that's why when we are coming out of the loop, here 4 is not being printed. Let me show you clearly. Let me write here 100. Control plus S and print. Still we are getting the same output. What is the expected output? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 99 we will expect, right? Why 99? Because 100 minus 1 is 99. Got it? So but we are getting only 1, 2, 3. Why? Because of the break statement. Got it? So this is the importance of break. If you have a condition where the loop must be terminated or the loop must be exited, so we have to put a condition, we have to put a break, right? So this is how you can use break statement, right? Let me show you the use of break statement in while loop. We have seen the use of break statement in for loop. Now let me write in the while loop. So let us take a variable I equal to 0 while I is greater than 5, less than 5, print I equal to I plus 1 and I equal to I plus 1 if I double equal to 3, break. Now control plus S and let me run it. We got 0, 1 and 2, right? So let me explain you how we got this one. First we got I equal to 0 and right, and we are checking this condition while 0 is less than 5. 0 is less than 5. It is correct, right? So we are printing this one. I is being printed. That is 0 is being printed. And next what we are doing, I equal to I plus 1. What is I initially? 0. 0, I equal to 0 plus 1. 1. So I is 1 now. Next we are checking the condition. If I is equal to 3. Is 1 equal to 3? No, it is not equal to 3. So we are not exiting the loop. Now I equal to 1 and here it will be checked again. 1 is less than 5, right? So 1 is printed. Where is printed? 1 here it is printed. Next it will be incremented. That is 2. Now it will check again. Is 2 double equal to 3? No, it is not equal to 3. So we are not breaking the loop. Now I equal to 3. What is 2 plus 1? 3, right? So is 3 is less, 2 is less than 5, right? We are printing 1 and we are incrementing by 1. That is 1 plus 1 equal to 2. 2 is less than 5, right? So we are printing 2. We are printing 2 and we are incrementing it. I equal to I plus 1. What is 2 plus 1? 3, right? So next, now if 3 is double equal to 3, why 3? I is 3 now, right? 3 is double equal to 3. We are using break. Break is nothing but getting out of the loop. So it has encountered the condition and the condition is satisfied. So we are breaking out of the loop. So that's why even if we change the condition here, let me write 100 here. Control plus S. 0, 1, 2, right? So this is how you use break in the for loop and while loop. Got it? I hope you guys got the importance of the break. Now let us go back to continue, right? Let me read the statement first. While executing the code, if the interpreter encounters continue, it will skip the particular iteration, right? So let us take an example from PPT. I have taken a for loop here and given a condition, and I'm continuing that one. So for I in range 1 comma 6, let's take, and let me print I. Okay, let's keep the continue first. If I double equal to 3, continue, print I. Right, so let's print this one. Let me show you what it will print. It is printing 1 2 4 5. 3 is being skipped here. Got it? 1 2 4 5. 3 is not there here. Let me show you why it is not there. So first we are starting a for loop, that is for I in range 1 comma 6, right? If I double equal to 3, we are keeping a condition here. If the condition is satisfied, we continue. What is the continue according to the statement in PPT? The particular iteration will be skipped if the condition is satisfied, right? So initially I equal to 1, it will check the condition here. If I equal to 1, it is correct. No, it is not correct. So if it is not correct, so it is printing I. What is I? 1. Next I will be incremented. What is I now? 2. Is 2 double equal to 3? Not. So we are printing 2. What is 2? It is printed 2 here. Now 2 plus 1, 3 here. Now it will check the condition. If the I double equal to 3, 3 is double equal to 3, right? It is true. So the statement under the if block are executed. What is that? Continue. Continue. What is the use of continue? The particular iteration will be skipped, right? So 3 is double equal to 3. It is satisfied. That's why the particular iteration will be skipped. Therefore it will come out of the iteration and it will go to the next iteration. So third iteration is skipped. That's why 3 is not printed, right? So let me change the condition and let me show you. I double equal to 1. Now what it will print? Let's see 1 is skipped now. I hope you got what is continue. So we have seen the use of break and continue, and the last thing is the use of pass. Pass is nothing but a null statement in Python, right? So whenever we want to write a null nothing, it will do nothing, right? So basically in functions and classes and objects we will use pass statement, right? So tomorrow we will be learning about functions, and then I will show you the use of pass, right? So just remember the definition. Pass is a null statement in Python, right? It can be put under empty functions classes to overcome the syntax errors, right? So I guess we have completed everything in today's syllabus. Let me check. So we have seen the intro, we have seen if else statements, nested if else, if else. We have seen two kind of loops, and we have seen the break, continue, and pass. So that's it from my side for today. And don't forget to fill the attendance form, which will be provided in the chat box, and links and PPTs will be provided in the description box below. And don't forget to subscribe our channel and turn on the notification